The widowed rancher, Thomas Hale, had heard gunshots before, sharp cracks that rolled across the dry land like thunder. But tonight, something was different. The echo carried a tremble of fear, and fear always meant someone needed help. He saddled his old mare, Daisy, and rode toward the sound, the moon slicing silver lines across the desert. Dust swirled up behind him like ghosts chasing the wind. At the edge of the canyon, he saw her, tall as a juniper tree, strong as the land itself. An Apache girl, no older than 20, staggering beside a wounded horse. Her braids swung down her back like a black rope, and her eyes were full of unshed storms. She collapsed before he could call out. Thomas scooped her up gently, surprised by her weight and height, and laid her across his saddle. She stirred, whispering through cracked lips, "Please, I'm desperate for a man's warmth." The words startled him, but then he felt the chill radiating from her skin. She wasn't yearning for affection. She was freezing. Desert nights could kill faster than bullets. "I've got you," he murmured, pulling his coat around her. "You'll be safe soon." Back at his ranch, he lit the stove, wrapped her in blankets, and waited. When she finally opened her eyes, her first instinct was to sit upright and reach for a knife that wasn't there. "Easy," Thomas said softly. "You're among friends." She studied him for a long moment before answering. "My name is Tala. My people call me the giant because I was born tall, and because they believed I could carry more burdens than most." Thomas nodded. "I'm Thomas. Folks around here know me as the man who keeps too much land and not enough company." A flicker of amusement touched her lips, but it didn't reach her eyes. As the days passed, Tala healed. She told Thomas her story in fragments. How her family had been driven from their land, how her brother died protecting their last horse, how she had wandered for days, caught between grief and survival. Thomas understood loss. His wife, Mary, had died 2 winters ago, leaving him with a house full of memories and silence, so heavy it sometimes made him forget to breathe. One evening, as the sun bled orange across the horizon, Tala stood outside the barn, hands trembling around a mug of warm water. "I thought I was strong enough to walk this world alone," she whispered. "But the night I collapsed, I knew I wasn't. That terrifies me." Thomas stepped beside her. "It's not weakness to need people. It's human." She looked up at him, this man of dust and patience, with grief-worn shoulders, and something softened in her face. A shared loneliness bridged the space between them. A week later, the twist came. While repairing the fence, Thomas heard shouting. Riders approached, armed, angry, calling out Tala's name. They weren't soldiers nor villagers. They were raiders, the same men who had taken her family's land. Tala froze. Thomas saw her terror before she masked it with steel. "They want me," she said. "If I stay, you'll die for helping me." "Let them try," Thomas replied. But she stepped away from him, resolute. "Thomas, every person who has stood near me ends up buried. I won't let that happen again." Before he could protest, she walked out toward the approaching riders, tall, unshaken, carrying nothing but the courage that had kept her alive. Thomas's heart hammered painfully. He couldn't lose her too. Not to fate, not to fear. He ran after her, shouting, "You don't have to do this alone." The raiders slowed, startled by the sight of a giant woman standing unarmed in their path. Their leader sneered, "You should have stayed dead with the rest of your clan." Tala's voice trembled, but her stance didn't. "I'm done running." The moment stretched tight as a trigger. Then Thomas stepped beside her. The raiders hadn't expected a widower with nothing left to lose to stand like an oak tree beside a stranger. The two of them, one towering like legend, the other worn but unbroken, faced the armed men in silent unity. And something changed. Maybe it was the steadiness in Tala's gaze. Maybe it was the quiet determination in Thomas's posture. Maybe it was that the world sometimes bends toward the brave. Whatever the reason, the raiders hesitated, then turned their horses and rode away. When the dust settled, Tala exhaled shakily. "Why did you stay?" she whispered. Thomas swallowed. "Because no one deserves to fight their battles alone. Not anymore." Tala's eyes glistened. This time, she didn't hide the cracks. She let him see all the broken, beautiful pieces of her. Then maybe, she said, we walk forward together. Thomas nodded. Together sounds mighty fine. And under the fading sun, two wandering souls, one giant in spirit, the other giant in heart, found something warmer than safety, stronger than grief, and more enduring than the wild land around them.